What's up, y'all? Kofi Kingston here, and I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks, depending on what that drink is, preferably non-alcoholic, you know?
How's it going? Tell me who are you, James?
Soda.
I would love to have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Maple syrup.
I would never have a drink with Wrestling on the Rocks.
Welcome to the dive bar of the IWC. Welcome to Wrestling on the Rocks, episode 1. Again, episode 1, because we the ones. I'm at Ref Marsh. We are at WOTR, the show. With me today for Thursday Night Chaser as we chase away all of this impeccable booking from the week. Miss AmsAmandaJayne, how you doing?
You know, I'm not too bad. How's it going in your neck of the woods?
It's going pretty good. We got a trip tomorrow. I'm getting my drink ready. Or not tomorrow, next week. So yeah, we're probably not going to do a show next week. I'm going to be out of town, and plus it's Thanksgiving. And there was one time we did a show I really liked where it was just me and my brother just talking about like wrestling stuff that made us thankful. So it was kind of cool, but yeah. I don't think we're going to do that this year. Maybe.
Unless people are desperate and they want us to do some full gear crap.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be a hell of a fallout, I'm sure. Making my drink over here. This is already going to be way stronger than I anticipated. I'm putting in, just to start off, a little something simple. What's in your glass? I've had some of the stuff lying around and I'm like, I got to do something with this. So I grabbed my Cordial Cafe from Italy.
I don't think it likes this floating head thing you've got going on.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing floating head today. My finger disappears and stuff. Well, my arm's gone.
Look, my finger disappeared into Zack Sabre Jr. Okay.
And a pumpkin spice liqueur, and I'm going to top it off with eggnog.
Holy crap. That just sounds like horrible.
It's going to be a wild ride. It's going to be kind of like a White Russian, but with nog. So it's like a holiday.
Yeah, but eggnog and pumpkin spice. Oh,
yeah, I'm going to call it Christmas in Russia. Splinter Fox in the chat. I think he's saying Rufio. Rufio is pretty good from Hook.
But that does not sound very appetizing. I'm just going to say that and put that out in the universe.
We'll see. Time will tell.
Yeah.
Why are there bagpipes?
Hold on. My mother's watching. My mom is in the other room. She likes to watch these things about the royal family. And I don't know why there's bagpipes. So hold on.
We're not even talking about Roddy Piper.
I
Gil
know.
Piper's not even doing anything.
That's the thing. Hold on.
Yeah.
I'm going to disappear. But now I know how to come back.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. Splinter Fox says you can call it raw booking. Let's see. I'm going to pull up some of the stuff. I know we got to get through some birthdays. I know we're going to go over Dynamite. I don't even know if something happened on Rampage. It really feels like they're trying to make Rampage seem like something. But before we get into all of that stuff, while Amanda Jane is away, I wanted to throw out there. You never left.
What?
No, you just stayed up.
Oh,
Muted.
Damn it.
It's fine.
Screwed it up again.
Yeah, it's only
We have new technology, people. I screwed it up last week, too.
The good news is we never got good at the old technology, so it doesn't feel like we're starting from scratch. It just feels like we never got going.
Yeah.
Did you see the Masked Singer stuff?
Yeah, well, I saw the clip of the singing, and I'm like, that's Chris. Before, I mean, if I didn't know who it was beforehand, I would have known it was Chris Jericho right away because of my disgust of hearing fucking Judas every fucking week for the last whatever in the hell, right? So, kind of knew it.
Yeah, we watched those. We went back and saw him. He had 3 performances total. He was voted off, unmasked. I don't want to kick the guy when he's down because I'm going to be honest. It was all kind of really embarrassing for a lot of reasons. And when he got unmasked, though, he looked like he was really trying not to like he was trying so hard to smile and not cry. His eyes looked red and stuff. And he took it real serious. I think there was a part of him that really thought he was going to win the whole competition.
Good Lord, dude. It's not like you were fucking like, okay, the first one, T-Pain, okay?
Oh,
who would have known that T-Pain was a singer? Okay, I did not know. I didn't know. I thought we were blaming it on the alcohol with Jamie Foxx. Okay,
yeah.
I didn't know. Right? Even like Chris Jericho should not be upset. People knew it was like when Joey Fatone did it. They knew it was Joey Fatone right away. So, but did they know who it was?
Well, they never guessed him. And then even when they unveiled him, you could tell that Nick Cannon had been like told what to say because it was really specific.
He didn't know who
they said. And then, Ken sits up and goes, "Oh man," he's like, "I'm kind of starstruck right now." He goes, "Such a big fan of yours. Everything you did in WCW and WWE was so great." And you just see like Jericho be like, "Yeah, thanks, man." Like you could tell that he's really like bumming him out. So, but he was on there, and that was kind of cool in a way. It was really funny, and I don't know. I would suggest people to go listen. He didn't.
But my thing is this, dude. Does he realize that wrestling is such a small, little, insignificant piece of the entertainment industry as a whole? And it's not like his band is like freaking Motley Crue or anything like that, or some metal band that people know, like Winger, because they had one really good song in the 80s,
Dude, he also did a fake British accent when he was under the mask to try to throw them off. And immediately 2 of the judges said, "Well, that's clearly a fake British accent. That's not a good job at that."
Well, I mean, I don't know.
It sounded like Chris Jericho doing a British accent, even with his voice distorted. It was ridiculous.
That's stupid. Well, you know what? He should be embarrassed and he should be crying, but whatever, dude. I mean, maybe. I don't remember when he was on Dancing with the Stars?
No.
Oh, he was on Dancing with the Stars, and he danced with Cheryl Burke, who's like she won it a couple of times with, people. And I'm like, bro, that's not your thing. So don't be all upset if you're,
Yeah, it was good. It was good for what it was. Like, it's fine. Like, yeah, being overly sensitive about it is a little weird, especially like you see Adam Carolla get unmasked in the same episode, and he was like laughing about it and making fun of the whole thing. And he's like, "This has always been my dream to dress up as an avocado." You know what I mean? Like, it's good.
Yeah, I mean, he also was a female dragon, and that was kind of weird. So, you know, I don't,
Yeah, the
you know, I
bride.
don't know what to tell you, man. There's a reason why Sebastian Bach makes fun of you.
I know, it's so funny. It makes it funnier.
You're not,
Shana Fox
yeah.
in the chat says Chris Statlander's on a Netflix show. Yeah, I think a bunch of AEW people went on that show, the Floor is Lava thing. He goes, "What is the Masked Singer? Don't watch regular TV." It just is exactly what we just described. Like you go in there as a big costume and you sing, and they try to guess who you are, and it's competition. So somebody loses and they get unmasked, and the other persons go on, and it's a whole season. It's a fine show. Some of it's cool. You know, I like covers. And some of them are amazing singers and do really good compositions of it, and it's fun. But like, it's not like can't miss. I mean, I watched the first 2 seasons, and then after that, I was like, oh, if somebody is unmasked who I know I like, maybe I'll go back and watch a compilation of their songs. But outside, it's it's fine. It's something to put on. It's something I could watch with my family, no doubt. You know what I mean?
You know what? That would be something great for Marty to do. Remember, if BTE, if y'all remember watching this when he wanted to be a pop star, that would be fucking great. Anyways, I digress. Actually, John Cena might be good doing that too.
John Cena would be great.
Random thought.
Did you want to run through the birthdays?
Or what's in my glass? Because well, actually, I don't have a glass quite yet, but I'll have regular Coke because I'm gonna have a slush. That is sponsored, not sponsored by Zoku. Yes, I'm trying to get us a sponsorship because those are really nice with alcohol in it. But I have a bowl of hamburger helper. I don't think people want to see that. But anyways.
Shouldn't have been.
But birthdays. Yeah, there's some really interesting birthdays this week. First of all, this one's kind of a little same one, but 2 days ago was, rest in peace, the Macho Man's birthday. Oh, yeah. And it's fitting that coming up this Saturday, it's Miss Elizabeth's birthday. And I never knew that they had birthdays really close to each other. So rest in peace, both of y'all. Happy birthday. Let's see here. We've got, let's see. Who are people we know? The Bella twins. Yep. Nikki and Brie. They're having a birthday. And no, I do not think that Brie is ever going to be in AEW. That's kind of weird. Let's just leave WWE people where they are. Shane Douglas, happy birthday. Shingo Takagi, happy birthday. You know, the LIJ thingy. Another one who is very interesting, Elias, happy birthday. Let's see here. We've also got Steve Austin. So everybody,
that's
can I get a hell yeah?
Yeah. Okay. Cheers to that for sure.
Yeah. And then of course we've got the same day, which is very interesting on the other end of the spectrum. So, you know, puff pass, Rob Van Dam, happy birthday.
Oh, very good.
Yeah, there you go. And then Juventud Guerrera, happy birthday, dude. Celebrated birthday. And that is all we have for this week. Not very many birthdays. If I did miss anybody, just know happy birthday. You know, I mean, you know, sometimes we miss some, sometimes we don't. Happy birthday. Like I think I might have missed Leo Rush last time, but happy birthday, dude. Good to see you back.
Billy Starks is about to make her debut on MLW.
Very nice.
That was coming up pretty soon, and that's pretty cool.
Very nice. That's going to be cool. Didn't she just do? Yeah, she is. Didn't she just do Stardom or something in Japan? She did one of the Japanese promotions.
That sounds right to me. Yeah.
Didn't she? I think.
Yeah.
I know.
Or I guess about to. Sean Fox says Billy Stark's heading to Japan.
Okay. Then I didn't miss that. Very, very, very cool. Yeah, no, she's good. It's like it's that crop of really young people that, you know, the Starboy Charlies, the Nick Waynes, and, you know, Billy Starks, and, you know, that really are paving that way. Roxanne Perez. I mean, these kids are so young. So the future is very, very bright.
Yeah, looks good.
So nice to see.
Spinner Park says she's got it to be a school trip. Good for her. Yeah. Yeah.
What did I do?
Abroad studies.
Yeah, it's like study abroad in Japan for 3 months. Oh, what did you do? Oh, didn't go to school, but I wrestled in a
Studied
dojo.
physical therapy.
Yeah, I just scrubbed floors.
Did you see all the stuff? 'Cause I don't. Were you on last week? What the fuck happened last week? Why do I feel like last week was a blur? Did the Nick Aldis stuff happen last week or the week after?
No, it happened this week. Nick Aldis.
This week?
Because
It
it was
probably
right
happened over
after,
the weekend, huh? Yeah.
Yeah, it was right after Hard Times.
Yeah, and so I thought that'd be something that'd be neat to talk about at least a little bit,
Yeah.
because we were heavily invested in NWA for a long time, and we
Mm-hmm.
have not been at all recently. So there's a good chunk of what Nick's saying that it's hard to argue, because as fans, you're like, yep, I have not been invested since that time frame that you suggested people stopped becoming invested. But so what happened? Let me just lay out the scenario a little bit. He went on Instagram Live. He said that he had given his notice and he was leaving NWA right after Hard Times. Billy Corgan responded to this by going on Busted Open and saying, we don't need him. He's not showing up. He's not booked anymore. He's done for now. Right. He's had other things too. And so then then Nick Aldis responds by going on Not Sam Wrestling with Sam Roberts and giving his whole side of the story. And the interview's worth listening to. It's about an hour plus long, and I think Sam says 6 words in the whole thing. So there's really not you don't got to worry about not getting the point across. You got all of it across. Swinbuck says, man, they had a great roster. A with if could be for NWA. God, he's got to proofread his shit, man. If the pandemic never happened, I would what could have been. Yeah, I was even talking about that earlier today, that prior to pandemic, it was hot because it seemed like regardless of all the other stuff, because Nick was saying it was no longer serious or dignified like it had been, and it no longer passes the Harley Race test of if Harley Race was watching it and said, what the fuck is this? Could I defend it? Right. And okay, whatever.
Yeah.
But I hear you, but also kind of like, okay, that's between you guys. But when you look at what it was presented as before, with Ricky Starks, Eli Drake, James Storm, Eddie Kingston, I mean, even Zicky Dice, I'd give it to him a little bit just because of how big his personality was. Homicide, what it was it felt like a place. I mean, and Nick included, obviously. I don't mean to just gloss over him like nothing. Obviously, Nick was a big part. Camille. It felt like a place where they were putting a spotlight on talent that you kind of couldn't believe isn't on national TV already, right? It was like the best of the best. Thunder Rosa. Even Allison Kay. All of these people I've just mentioned all left during the pandemic when they were no longer booking for a while and not trying to do the shows. They all left. And then when it left, they just filled it in with, I mean, to be quite frank, from what I've seen, indie talent that seems like they're probably around where they are going to be until they get better. Like, it didn't feel like it was any more highlighting top indie talent that was like, how could they not be signed? It was now just another indie promotion. You know what I mean? And I'm trying to knock the people there and saying that they don't work hard, because they do. Just not everyone's on the same level at any given time. But the crew that was in NWA Power when it launched was all ready for prime time, So I do think that it's changed in that regard.
Yeah, but I also think that without having like Dave Lagreca or Lagana, Dave Lagana, kind of bringing his knowledge and everything into it, and also with the absence of Dave Marquez, it really went downhill as far as production quality. Again, I'm going to say Wade Barrett doing commentary was great. I thought they had probably the best commentary out there, hands down. When Power was up and running after Cornette left. But even when Cornette was there, I mean, it was but again, I think that, it really lost its luster. Now, it kind of was like, oh, it's interesting because now what's Matt Cardona going to do when he showed up over there?
Yeah, Cardona showed up, Chelsea Green, because Jeff Jarrett had a spot.
Because he was hot at the time.
Yeah.
But let's go back to those days pre-pandemic. What were we going into? We were going into the Crockett Cup again with Skrull, versus Aldous too. And that was going to be the one where I think Marty was going to take it, because they really were working that partnership with Ring of Honor. Because remember, Villain Enterprises was there. They were using the bouncers at the time too. So there was a lot of that influence. And I think that it's sad that all of that, the pandemic kind of killed it. What would have happened if the pandemic didn't happen? That would be very interesting, because I often ask myself, would that Me Too thing would have happened? Would it have?
Oh, the speaking out. Yeah, that's kind of interesting concept too, because Lagana might not have left the company had that not all come to light. I'm not saying that it shouldn't have happened, but you do wonder if it would have happened without the pandemic, where everyone was kind of online a lot.
Exactly.
Spinner Fox says, who's going to last longer, NWA or AEW?
Well, AEW, just for a little bit longer.
I don't know. I think that the interesting dynamic of that question is, yes, Tony's got endless money, but he doesn't have endless platforms necessarily. And I don't know if Tony has an ego that would allow him to step down. Can Dynamite go from TNT to YouTube if Warner Brothers decides we don't want to do this anymore? You know what I mean? Where NWA has always been on YouTube. So if they don't end up on a bigger platform, they are what they've always been. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that in a sense, AEW's got more people who could pull the plug than NWA. So I think NWA probably will last longer just because it's a passion project. It's not, his whole legacy of Corgan is not defined by how NWA does, but Tony Khan's so wrapped around AEW and has TV deals in play that if somebody wanted to pull it, or even the fact that the funding really comes from his dad, if his dad just wanted to stop funding it, then that's it. They're just done. Where I think with NWA, it would take Corgan specifically to say, I'm done, for it to disappear.
Well, you never know. But I do think with AEW, though, I think that Tony would do something, because he has enough things like the Ring of Honor catalog that he could do a fire sale, or he could start letting assets go away. And I can see that happening. Now, whether or not people would want to entertain it is a whole different question. But, I think it's fair to say that it would hang out a little longer. I can say if it went on a model like on Fight, where you had to pay, I wouldn't pay, especially if you're getting the quality of what we have right now. Hell no. I'll just watch the free YouTube shit. But again, it's very interesting to see, okay, what has he done with Ring of Honor? Okay, that's coming up soon in December. And you see nothing. There's no build-up. There's no storylines. It's nothing. So what do you do with that? I've been thinking about that, because people who are quote unquote just signed to Ring of Honor, well, okay, how do you put them into the fold? Or is it going to be the same bullshit people? Obviously that's going to be a whole, Wardlow, Samoa Joe, Hobbs kind of thing. That's what it's sounding like it's building for that. But still, it's like, come on, you have a whole somewhat different roster that's over there, and people that we don't see anymore. So are you, that we're supposed to be just Ring of Honor. So what's going on with that? But, who knows? I just was remembering that, they're doing, Ring of Honor's doing their show in Dallas coming up on the 10th of December. And that's just weeks away. So, who knows?
Yeah, Spinner Fox in the chat says, I feel like WWE will control the states again in the near future, which will be boring again. Thank goodness for NJPW and Stardom. They control the states now, dude. Like, that's the other thing. That Dynamite, there's been a ton of pictures and footage of that fucking empty arena. They didn't even sell 3,000 tickets to the show. It was just shy. That's not good news. It's not exciting. And I know that they've already sold like 9,000 to the pay-per-view where that's going to be, but that venue's not even sold out, and it's this weekend. It's a couple days away and they haven't sold it out. And that's the only reason that's like a big problem, is that like you kind of want them to do better than that. You want them to be able to sell tickets, even if they aren't going to grow their audience. You'd hope that they've targeted an audience that will show up. You know what I mean? Because that's always been the complaint. Are they catering to a specific audience? And if you say yes, then you better pick an audience that's going to be there.
Well, here's a very good litmus test. Okay, finally, they're coming to my area. We get 2 shows in San Francisco at the Cow Palace. This is the smallest venue it is the smallest venue. It is the smallest venue that AEW will perform in. It's only about 6,000 seats. So my question is thinking, is this going to be the same people? Because I will say this right now, and you can mark money on this. If we see the same washed up, and no offense to the white people, all you lame white people that are there every week, with your stupid, everyone's got a sign that's facing the hard cam of some sort, or all sorts of bull. If we see that again, I will say this. I'm going on record. I'm saying this. The crowds in the San Francisco area are probably the most diverse in wrestling, period. Okay, you can go back, look at WWE, look at when they've done Raw in San Jose or SmackDown in San Jose. Look at when, I don't think they've been back here since, or at least I don't think they've played where the Chase Center yet. But we're a pretty diverse crowd of people. And that's all the indie shows that I go to that are up here. So, and I know how hard it is.
That's assuming that AEW is putting out a product that a diverse group of people want to see. Like if they don't show up, then that's more of an indication that they're booking towards like more specific demographic. But they shouldn't be.
I'm
or
not neglecting
the demographics.
But I'm not going to show up if I can't sit where I want to sit. Okay, I've not been able to get a ticket like near the front at all. Okay. No. I'm not paying $2,500 a ticket when I know that there's these people who look like, they don't make a lot of money, in some of these cities, that I'm like, how the hell are they always in the front row? And I know they're not paying $2,000 a ticket. I know that. How? I don't get it. I know I'm not Brock Lesnar guy, so I'm not getting comped here and there, because we all know he does. Or I'm pretty sure that when Izzy goes, she gets comped. I'm like, well, why? I'm willing to pay that. Okay, I will pay. I don't want to ask for a handout. I don't ask for them, and I don't like doing it. But the one person who I feel comfortable saying, hey, can you help me out, will probably tell me I'm probably not even going to be there, because that's not what I'm contracted to wrestle.
No.
Yeah. My only saving grace right now is he supposedly is supposed to come do West Coast Pro, and West Coast Pro is running this Saturday after. So I'm pretty sure we're probably going to get, which I'm sick of. Like, we don't need Daniel Garcia again. Okay. He's just really overrated now. He was great when no one knew him, but now it's like, oh, you're too much. You're getting shoved down my throat. Maybe Hobbs will get his, his hometown show that he never got, because he got signed during pandemic. And then, it's still a slap in the face that he went to Defy first and didn't come back to us. Whatever. I'm over that. But no. So that's my only thing is, if Cabana is there, but I don't think that he's going to be booked on that. And I don't want to go to the powers that be over there at West Coast Pro and go, yo, is he going to be on that card? Because then I know I can go to him right now and say, I know you're going to be in town. You've got to be at least doing one of those shows. You might be doing like all those stupid things for internet TV, even though he doesn't do those anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, Spinner Fox says he might do a trip to Colorado to see the Elite, so he can say he saw them live and then be done with wrestling in the States.
You know,
I don't think I even care to have them on my bucket list of people to see live. So apparently they're coming in Arizona in February, and I might go. I mean, I was
I'll
at
come.
Double or
If you go.
Nothing, the first Double or Nothing. We were there, but I just didn't go to the venue. I didn't go. Like I was like, I'd rather just watch it on this TV. Like,
I'd go.
Yeah, if
But
it works out, I'll go. But I'm not like, it's not like an end all be all thing. You know what I mean? If it doesn't happen, then so it's okay. You know, but if it works out, then fine.
yeah. I will say this as a person who has seen the Elite wrestle. I will say this: the Elite now is nowhere near what they used to be. Okay, so my big thing is if anyone's ever wanted to see them, if you didn't see them in like Reseda, you will never get the Elite, or in Japan at the Tokyo Dome, you will never get the Elite. The best version you probably could ever see of the Elite. You're not going to get that. So I'm very fortunate. And they were facing, I want to say the Lucha Brothers, and I can't remember who the third was.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'll have to think about it. But that was like Bola 2017. That was amazing.
Grim Reaper's coming through. Cheers to Grim Reaper. Was there anything else in the news that you wanted to?
Oh, well, I mean, this was newsworthy-ish. This last weekend, Marty Skrull wrestled at his first show for AAA, and apparently he's contracted. So,
Interesting.
Yep. So a lot of you guys, because isn't that Conan's production, AAA?
I know he was helping them. I don't know how much he's helping now. I think he still works with them.
Because I thought he was the booker, but I could be wrong.
But I don't know what level. I know that he helps at on a certain level, and I know that he's had varying degrees of final says there. Like he's been very heavily involved at certain times and not others. So I'm just not sure what the status is right now on that.
Yeah, but for them to sign Marty and kind of commit to him is a huge deal. And I don't want to say it flew under the radar. I just want to say I don't think people really care as much anymore because people are over the whatever. You're still going to get people who are anti him, and then you're going to get people who support him. It's like, just let the guy wrestle. There's certain people who should not be back, but this is not one of those people. Because even like when you think about it, like going back to Lagana, I mean, yeah, that was some kind of serious stuff, but it's in no way like somehow some of these other people have been and who have a pass.
Yeah.
So just saying. And that's it.
Yeah. Did you want to talk NXT or AEW first?
Let's talk NXT first.
NXT.
Yeah. Since we're going into a pay-per-view weekend.
Yeah, that was interesting too.
Yeah.
When is their show? When is the NXT one? Deadline.
December 10th.
December 10th. Yeah, so it's like a month away.
Yeah.
But
it's very interesting.
Yeah. It seems like it's going to be something. Let's see. It does open up with Braun Breaker versus Von Wagner for the NXT Championship. I thought it was interesting and a little weird to put this on first, but at the same time, it's not like anybody thought Von Wagner was going to win. But I actually thought Von Wagner had a really good showing here. I thought he was awesome.
He did. He had a very good showing. I mean, again, I could do without seeing Robert Stone. All
that stuff was good.
Despite that, Von Wagner, I was actually surprised with that particular match. So, not surprised that he didn't win, which, come on. If Braun is going to lose the title, it's definitely not going to be to Von Wagner. It's going to be someone who was a big part of that NXT UK franchise, so to speak.
Yeah. But outside of that, it's good.
Yeah.
It's just good. Right after that, though, so I liked all their video packages for one, because there was a few of those throughout. But the Zoe Stark promo,
That was awful.
I was like, hard to watch, and it went on way long, and it just kept going, and I kept thinking to myself, I don't remember ever thinking she was this bad of a talker. You know what I mean? But like, you could
It
tell she
was-
was trying to follow along a script, and so her inflection on words were off placed. It was really weird. All of a sudden, she just remembered, oh, I was supposed to be screaming this, and so she started screaming like in a weird spot, and then you're okay. And then there's other parts where like she was clearly stumbling over so much. It was tough. It was tough, and it went on forever. And maybe the fact is that they gave her too much to do, and that's why it came off bad. Maybe it was like, hey, here's 5 pages. We need to go say it all. But that was tough. That was really tough to watch, because that's going to be hard for her to come back from, if I'm being honest, especially from the fans.
Yeah. I think it was because beforehand she was always cutting a promo with somebody else.
Yeah.
Or in a segment with somebody else. More in that tag capacity. So she really did not get any solo time with a microphone.
That's probably true.
And I think that this was like, whoa, this probably set her back months and months and months, because when you see someone like,
Yeah,
like Cora Jade, like how developed she's gotten, and even the Toxic Attraction gals, like, because I never thought that Gigi Dolan was, one to be good on a mic in her former self. And even kind of like when, she first came up into NXT, but now it's like, oh yeah, if she had to do it on her own, she could do it. Same with JC Jane. And then obviously Mandy is just superb. I can't say, enough good things about Mandy, but I think that's probably the weakest like link of someone cutting a promo that I've seen in a very, very, very long time. It's almost like, I guess, if you had someone where English isn't their first language and they're trying to cut something that's pretty difficult. Like, I'll use an example. Ray Phoenix doesn't cut a very good promo. His brother does a little bit, even though, yeah, it's a little bit of broken English, but he cuts a little bit of a better one than Phoenix does. Yeah. That's kind of how I feel with, like, Zoe Stark. It's like, you either need someone to talk for you or just don't talk at all. Yeah, and that's where she's sitting now.
Yeah, it was really rough. And it was hard to follow because of the way she said it too. And I was like,
I think she kept repeating herself. So it was almost like she got flustered and kept going back to those same parts of script that she really kind of remembered.
Yeah. I was Fox to say Conan is a booker in AAA, but he's not sure if he's top booker. Yeah, I don't know what Barry's degree he's at right now. But Inda Shear versus Ariel Dominguez and George Cannon. I thought Veer was in this. Yeah, it's a tag match.
Yeah.
All right, well. Oh, Inda Shear is the name of the tag team. Veer Mahan and Sangha are the two guys. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, that's why. I didn't realize that was their tag team name. Yeah. All right, this was fine.
Yeah.
But it just was what it was. And I liked that they talked. I like that they talked afterwards, so you knew it wasn't going to be some crazy gimmick where suddenly he doesn't know how to speak anymore and he's no longer refined or some shit. You go, okay, cool. This was, I thought, pretty well done. Gives them their unique look and doesn't hold them back.
And also, it really made them look like rock stars after the Zoe Stark promo. Like,
oh my god, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have faith in people speaking on the mic. Yeah, that's what I felt.
What do you think about the Wendy Chu saga with Cora Jade?
I love that kind of Mean Girls-ish kind of thing. And I haven't felt that way since like brought up stuff that was like high school. So that was really cool and interesting to see that they're going in that route. So, but y'all know I'm on that choo-choo train. So, love it. So I love every bit of that. But definitely, I'm liking how it's really kind of, I guess, I haven't seen this in a while, that it's kind of like art imitating life and bullying and whatnot. So I think that was kind of cool. That's kind of cool that they're going in that route of a different angle of it, of storyline, because when you had Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez, that kind of stuff too. So
yeah. Grimper says they were into Sheer back when they were with Malcolm Bivens, but they got the plug pulled after the IG incident. You remember they leaked the Keith Lee win before they aired it?
Oh yeah. Oh
That's
yeah.
funny. It was really funny. But this is obviously, they're going to keep the same name, but have a different presentation, and that's for the best. So that was cool. Apollo and JD McDonough was a good match, but again, I'm just not invested, man. I just don't care about their story, and I want to because they're so good.
Well, honestly, they've done nothing for me to care about Apollo Crews being in NXT.
You know what's interesting is there's so much good talent right now that a lot of the fan favorites for a long time was like the quote work rate guys, the guys who would out wrestle other people, and they're just such skilled technicians. At this point, there's such an influx of really great wrestlers that it doesn't cut it anymore. We've almost become full circle where you like having gimmicks like the Goon might actually work now, because you're like, well, someone, and we need a reason to care, and you being a good wrestler is just not it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like Daniel Bryan realistically got over because he was just that good of a wrestler. He was in that era where there was a lot of big characters and not a lot of great work rate guys. So when he showed up and did what he did, it took a while for him to become decent on the mic. From being completely honest, he really got over big time because of his ability to wrestle. And that's just not going to get somebody over anymore because everyone is that good now. So now it's kind of to the whole point where it's like, yeah, it's a great match. So what? And that's kind of a weird spot to be in. You know what I mean? Like, you kind of go, it's a great match. You should be really into it. And it's like, but they're all great matches at this point. So it's
that's
like,
how, yeah, that's how Claudio Castagnoli is being booked.
Yeah.
But with Apollo, though, I guess maybe we assume too much. And I think that, I assume too much. Like thinking, man, this is going to give him a nice little place to kind of reboot himself, kind of a la Mandy. Like how Mandy was. No. I'm like, I don't even know what it is anymore. It's like, why are you here?
Which is kind of a bummer too, because everyone who's come back into NXT, we felt like, oh, this is really fresh. This is good. They're leaning into this. Oh, they're redoing that. Apollo's the one guy who showed up over there, and you just get that same excitement and go, oh yeah, he really could use that, all of that, you know? And then we just aren't getting it on the same way. And you just go, God, is he like...
No. And then now
he's like
Dijakovic. Well, I don't even know what's going to happen with that. I'm like,
who do you think Scripps is?
I don't know.
I think it might be Vincent.
You think so?
Yeah, that's my thought. I don't know. And then is Dijakovic, is he that hard justice guy or whatever? Or is that a whole other dude? We're getting a lot of vignettes for people. Yeah.
I think it's a whole other dude.
We can't have 6 vignettes of 6 different people and not show any of their faces.
I know.
It's really fucking hard to follow.
Well, it's more like a crap. It's like Russian roulette, I guess.
Yes.
It's like, okay, guess who it is?
Yeah, who's this even about? Like, you can't do them all the time all together.
But I would think that Dijakovic, you're not hiding who he is, because obviously we saw this other, these other promos.
But we're not seeing his face either. We're seeing one dude's chin, one dude's eyes, and one dude's handwriting, and we're like, what the fuck? Just Razor vignettes and Mr. Perfect vignettes weren't done from the back of their head. They were front and center. Boom, this is me. This is who I am and what I'm about. All of these vignettes being all mysterious is getting really fucking tiring. Just come out.
No, what it is. It's these people that they hired since Giancarlo doesn't work for them anymore. They're these people that they hired that are trying to emulate like what he does, but are not very good at it. So
No,
you get these really
no,
choppy,
no,
weird,
no. I'm not gonna let you sit here and give Giancarlo the credit for all of the good vignettes that have ever happened. He did very little in that company. He just did a couple things that were very
but he
big.
did some really good damn ones.
He did some good ones. At the same
Mhm.
time, most of Giancarlo's stuff wasn't fucking spooky and mysterious. Joey
No.
Janela's videos, Ricky Stark's videos, they look great, but you
He
also
didn't
see
do
who they
any
are.
Ricky Starks videos.
I'm not
Ricky
saying
did
he had
Ricky
to.
Ricky
I'm
did
saying
Ricky.
that these are other ones that are out there that are good that you can watch and look at.
Well, the
They're all
Janela
just
ones
trying to
are-
be the next. They're all just trying to be the next Bray. And you can't have 6 people come in and try and do the White Rabbit at the same time while you're still on the heels of the White Rabbit, because now I don't know who the fuck you're talking about at any given time.
Well, I don't even know if they know what they're talking about at any given time.
That's what's making it so stupid. Like, you can't,
Well-
like, it's all their creative decisions too. It's not even their video editor. Someone in creative saying like, "Oh, we'll make a mysterious video. You'll see like their earlobe," and you go, "Okay." Then
That's their
what's the next
downfall.
segment? The next
Okay, that's
segment,
their
we have this other Mysterio video. We're gonna see this guy's chin, and I was like, but we don't know who either of these guys are. No, you're not putting their name up. No, someone needs to be in there and say, well, you can't just do that back to back like this. Like,
Well,
spread this shit out or start showing faces.
well, that's their way of, I guess, I don't know. It's the way to drum up excitement. I don't know.
The funny
But all
thing
I
is they're
know-
clearly trying to drum up excitement, and no one's talking about any of their vignettes
I think they
because
want
there's
people to
nothing to
fantasy
latch
book.
onto,
No, they want people to fantasy book. They want to
and no one
have people
is.
play guessing games. That's
But
what it
no one
is.
is, because no one gives a shit
Well-
because we don't have any information. They did with White Rabbit, and they don't understand the difference. The difference is there was
No.
actual clues and things to go around. The difference
There might
is
be
we're
clues.
already piecing it together the whole time. You're bringing in new talent that we've never seen before in a really cryptic way. There's nothing to piece together. And
There
you
might
have
be.
Skizzo on the same show. How much weird cryptic shit do you need at one time? If everybody's one thing, nobody's special. If you're all
Hey.
uniquely dark and mysterious, none of you are uniquely dark and mysterious.
They're trying to do something different than Tony Khan, okay? That's all I can drum it up to.
Anything you do on TV will be different than when Tony Khan does. Because he's been doing the same shit back to back.
Not true. Not true. If one of those fuckers comes out with Snow, then yeah. Let's just
Yeah,
go.
Snow is pretty good. What happened here? I was having this thing go and it locked up. Let's see what else we got. Wesley and Carmelo Hayes had a sit
That
down
was
with Booker
interesting.
T. I thought it was pretty solid. My favorite part though was making fun of Justin Time, who was here recently. He in the middle of this whole thing, Booker just goes, "Okay, then shucky shucky quack quack," and I just started dying laughing, knowing that Justin would be at home being like, "Why did he say that? Stop it!" He's like so tired of him that I just cracked up laughing, just being, "This is great. Say it all the time now."
Yeah.
But their back and forth, I thought was great.
Yeah.
And I even thought Booker added a lot to this.
He did. Okay. Bravo to him. I still don't like his commentary, but one thing I found very interesting is, was just, I think it's setting up the inevitable split of Trick and Carmelo.
Okay.
I think that Carmelo is going to be leaving soon after this. I have a feeling. And Trick's not going with him.
Yeah. I don't have any issues with that. I think that
that's what my feeling is.
I was going to say that Trick is a really good addition to Carmelo, which is true. And I was going to say that he could lean on Carmelo basically forever, which I think is true. But at the same time, they should want him to be his own guy too. And
yeah,
he might need to break away just to do that.
And I think that would be great because then he's already really prepared to have a really good program with Wesley off the bat with it. So I think that's a good strategy to go if that is the case. I hope they go that way. Just because then you don't have this endless, oh my God, it's still like fucking the whole JD McDonald. I'm like, just go away, dude. Okay. You haven't gotten it done. You're not going to get it done.
Justin did say, I got to give it to Booker. He was a great part of that segment. Justin, what do you think about when he said Chucky, Chucky, quack, quack in the middle of all of it? What I thought was great about Booker's, what he did here was so many times we've seen the contract signings where the guy just goes like, do you want to sign it? Do you want to sign it? Hey guys, don't fight. And that's it.
Mhm.
He approached this like, no, I'm going to kind of interview these guys. I'm going to get them to
Mhm.
show who their character is. I'm going to feed them enough. Like he was hosting a contract signing. He just wasn't witnessing a segment. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I thought it was awesome how he did that because I think it's so unique to do that because every contract signing we ever see, there's one person who goes, all right, guys, we've all agreed in the back. There's going to be no touching, right? No fighting. So just sit down and be cordial. What do you want to say? The person says all this stuff. Oh, okay. What do you want to say? Oh, okay, now sign.
And then
that's
flip
it.
the table over and we're
Yep.
going to fight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was, I thought, awesome because it came out it was pretty close to almost a podcast. Like these guys felt like they were two guests on Booker T's podcast explaining why they're in this fight and what they want to do and just getting their personalities across. And I thought this is probably the best contract signing I've seen in that regard from a host for sure.
Yeah. Well, he's good at that stuff. But again, like I said, the commentary, man, it just, no. But this was great. But commentary, no.
It kind of makes you wonder. He's clearly doing different things in those. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's just a talker and says, "Oh, trust me, I can say what I want. I'll be fine."
Yeah.
He's approaching them with different mentalities, which is interesting to think about because he's, I think, a really smart guy in all this. He's approaching them with a different mentality, and that's kind of impressive. Makes you wonder what his thought process is behind that. You know what I mean? Because his wrestling promos were different than this. This was different than his commentary. His commentator's different than all that. Like his podcast is a different tone as well. So for him to, and the kickoff shows are different as well when he does those. So to see him switch into these different mentalities, you have to imagine there's a purpose.
Yeah. But also I've noticed too that Vic Joseph is looking real kind of cash.
Yeah, he's gotten real casual.
I'm like, what the hell? Did you just like roll out of like bed and grab whatever the nearest like jacket was and rolled down to the performance center? And
they also booted him off of After the Bell. He was replaced by Kevin Patrick, which I think they're doing to try and build a chemistry with Kevin and Corey because they're the commentators on Raw. And man, as much as I like Kevin Patrick, he is really struggling. Like he sounds asleep, dude. Like I'm low energy and I just can't imagine how this guy is so low energy at a wrestling show. The dude's sedated. Other people sound confused. Like remember the guy before Jimmy Smith? Yeah, he was just kind of like was saying stuff that didn't make sense because he didn't know what he was watching. And then Jimmy Smith was saying stuff and he understood what was going on, but he was just kind of like, this dude comes off like he's asleep.
That was Marvez on commentary with AEW.
Oh, yeah. Alex Marvez is sedated as hell.
I was like, what the fuck is this? They got to get rid of him. And then he would say inaccurate things. And I'm just like, ugh. And then, you know.
Coach clearly never watched the product, but was excited. Kevin clearly watches the product. He doesn't even fart when he's excited. Like nothing comes out of him, man. Doesn't matter how exciting this thing is. Brock Lesnar could throw him and you'd hear him go, oh, golly.
Yeah.
Booker, Just in Time does say Booker put his foot down and it really differentiated this contract signing from all the others that have ever happened. Yep. That's the case of it. I'm going to kind of go through this because the dyad against Briggs and Jensen, fine. Barely paid attention. Shawn Michaels, which I like the dyad, or not. Yeah, the dyad. I like the schism, all that.
I'm like, okay. Yeah.
I kind of want something bigger for them. I think is what it is. I don't like the story that they're in. I like them a lot, but I'm all like, okay, Briggs and Jensen, whatever. And even the Cameron Grimes stuff, I was like, whatever. Like, I want them in something that feels important, and nothing they do does.
They were important in their former selves. They were important.
Yeah.
But, you know, don't know whose idea that was.
Yeah. Spinner Fox says he doesn't even need commentary when he watches the wrestling. He just likes the wrestling. So he's here for the moves, not for the story, which is fine.
Well, you know, there was a certain time where all I had from Colt Cabana was his words when it was in Ring of Honor. So Yeah. There are some people who do listen. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Shawn Michaels announced the Iron Survivor Challenge match for NXT
Yeah.
Deadline. You fucking kidding me? Did you hear this thing?
I
This
was
was
like, wait a minute.
This is the most Tony Khan thing that Shawn Michaels has ever done. Coming up with stupid words and tying them together for a fucking match to make it sound more important than it is. A championship eliminator match, an eliminator tournament challenger. That's all his kind of shit. The Iron Survivor Challenge at
Yeah.
Deadline.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
They've
he's
been
all like, I
doing
could do
bumps in the back.
what Tony does. And we're like, yes, you can, but no one wants you to.
Yeah.
Don't do it. It's the stupid. So first off, the name's awful. The name is Iron Survivor Challenge. And so then I thought, okay, it's going to be like an Iron Man match, and but like a gauntlet style or an elimination Iron Man match. So I thought it was going to be something simple like that, right? Hour long.
No.
Imagine an Iron Man match and how they worked, right? What if they just did an Iron Man match with elimination rules? You got 5 or 6 people in there. The match goes an hour. People get eliminated on the way through. All right, whatever. The fucking rules on this thing are so long that all of the reviews I see about it just post to the video because they don't want to transcribe all that shit. It's ridiculous. So here's the other thing. The match goes 25 minutes long. 5 people. Starts with 2. Every 5 minutes, someone else joins. Someone's going to end up out there with only like 5 minutes left. They're going to be only in the match for 5 minutes and they're supposed to catch up. Like that's going to be potentially an interesting dynamic at the end, but also kind of fucking dumb, man. Spinner Fox says, he goes, so it's an Iron Man Rumble? No, it's not. It's worse.
No.
In my mind, I thought an Iron Man Rumble would be cool. This is worse. 25 minutes, starts with 2 people. Every 5 minutes, somebody joins the match. You have to stack victories by pin, submission, or disqualification. If you lose any of those pin, submissions, or disqualifications, you end up in a penalty box for 1 minute and 30 seconds. The match goes on for 25 minutes, and the person with the most victories wins.
Yeah.
Which is probably the most concise that's ever been described, and there's probably some other weird rules behind it. Justin Time says, basically a non-title Iron Man match, championship scramble, and King of the Mountain jumbled into one. It's a clusterfuck. Yeah, when I first read it, my first thought was penalty box. What is this, TNA? The King of the Mountain match? That also didn't make sense and had way too many rules. Conrad and Jeff Jarrett on their podcast even broke down that match once. And Jeff was really defending that he really liked the idea of the match and how it worked, but also conceded there was way too many rules to make any sense of it for simple viewing. Sprinter Fox says, sounds like a kid made it up. HBK is my man, but stick to training and teaching wrestlers. That's what I mean. It sounds like he called Tony Khan. Hey, what's something that you thought was too stupid to do? I want to do it. It's so weird. I'm just not into any of that. And I saw it and I was like, they're doing it for the men and the women, and we're going to find out who it is. And I was like,
nobody wants to
off
know.
with that.
I don't want to know. But honestly, okay. So
I'm so not looking forward to anything to do with those.
No. I will say this though. When I first heard it, I was like, oh fuck, this is like Tony Khan rejects on the floor. Like someone was at AEW backstage, there was a stooge, and they picked up garbage. And they looked at and they saw these things. Penalty box. Okay, well, we know that, NHL's on, whatever, TBS or TNT or whatever the hell, right? So they're like, okay, penalty box. Okay, right. Obviously, they're not going to use that because nobody big on hockey. But then again, fool you. We were at the New Jersey Devils and had people who had nothing to do with, who knew nothing about hockey there. But anyways, beside the point. And I'm like, what the hell? So this is probably... Please don't let this be the main event. Please let it be in the beginning so some of us can just kind of gloss over it.
I bet you it's going to open and close the show. Well, no, I guess not, because they're going to have a world title match in there. They're going to have at least 2. So yeah, put those on the top. Let's get through them.
Nobody cares because that women's one's going to be really weird as fuck, depending upon who you have in there.
They're both going to be weird as fuck, and they're both going to make no sense. And at the end of it, they're both going to have a winner that goes for the championship. And I guarantee you, no matter who it is, everyone's going to be like, I guess they won. Like, it's not going to feel like Just do a fucking battle royal at this point. Like,
You know
what
who?
is this?
This is their opportunity to give Indy Hartwell a push on the women's side.
They could. She had that win over Tatum Paxley, which was nice. I've been liking this aspect of Indy Hartwell. Now that you bring it
Yeah.
up, up Indy, she's been winning with old school wrestling finishes consistently.
Yep.
She doesn't seem to be having one solid finisher just yet, but they've all been old traditional, like the kind of finish to an old territory match. You know, a superplex does it. The right DDT does it. Like bringing a lot of simplicity back. A move looks big, therefore it's powerful enough and does the job. I've been loving it. I like that aspect of what they're doing with Indy. As far as like her promo stuff, she's sounding a lot more skittish than she did before. She sounds a lot more unsure of herself. So I want her to build up that confidence, but her wrestling has been vastly improving as she gets away from the comedy. So Spinner Fox says, Indy, let her be the last one and win it all. I think you could easily put Indy in the championship match here against Mandy for sure. But I don't think Indy's going to be the one to take it off of Mandy. I don't think she's looked strong enough or conniving enough. I just don't. I just think we're still building her. But with that in mind, I thought Alba Fire was going to be the one to take the title off of her. And that is not what happened. Amanda, anything on Indy or Tatum? No, she just left. We're going to go to the main event. Mandy Rose versus Alba Fire in a last women's standing match for NXT Women's Championship. This was awesome. I thought this match was really good. I think that Alba Fire and Mandy Rose work really well together. The big thing, obviously, at the end, Isla Dawn shows up, spits in Fire's face, pushes her off the ladder. She goes through the table, and Mandy gets the victory with the assist, obviously, from Isla Dawn, which does mean to me we still could get an Alba Fire victory here to get the title off of Mandy. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up with a triple threat. Mandy, Alba, and Isla, and Alba pins Isla and gets the title that way. That wouldn't shock me.
Would you do it on the 10th?
Yeah. I
would do
it. I would do it at deadline, and I would move on. I would get. I might even sit on them a little bit. Maybe do one or two more shows in NXT, just a match or two with Toxic Attraction, but then have them disappear. Have them re-debut at the Royal Rumble.
Was it me, or was that a new, when Mandy did her entrance, was that a new little Toxic Attraction little thing on the screen?
I think so. They've been tweaking
it.
Yeah,
we are the attraction.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
Yeah. Let's see. Let her be the last one. Oh, he says, Spinfox says, I love it too, but the IWC have been shitting all over it. Yeah, the simple victories by Indy. And he does say, let's face it, all the female talent in NXT can't hold Mandy's boots. Dude, right now, that's really hard to argue, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Mandy's been doing so spectacular that you see the Indy and Tatum match and you go, yep, I don't see someone there doing it. You see, what was the thing earlier? Oh, Zoe Stark. And you go, yeah, nope, you can't have her out there talking every week.
Mandy would obliviate her.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I even think they've cooled off Wendy. Oh, yeah, if they did a promo back and forth, forget it.
Yeah.
But I even think that they've cooled off Wendy Chu enough. She's nowhere near being ready for a title shot again.
And you can't put Tiffany Stratton in there because she's been nowhere,
Yeah, she can't just show up and do it unless she shows up and wins this Iron Steel Survivor Challenge.
No, that's Indy. My money's on Indy all the way with that
There's
one.
No fucking way. Indy's not going to get a title shot. She's not winning it.
Not going to win it, but you can give her the title shot to kind of give, like showcase her.
If Alba Fire wins at deadline, because that's what I'm saying. I'm pre-booking. I think we get Alba Fire, Mandy, Isla Dawn at deadline, and Alba Fire wins. You really want Indy and Alba Fire?
No. That's where I think that, again, it's going to cancel out Alba Fire, and that's going to cancel itself out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
where I think that's gonna happen
Yeah, I could see
with
that.
it. Because they're
But
gonna, obviously they're gonna be pissed at each other for costing them, that title. And of course, Mandy comes away again. Still,
yeah,
you've got too many other personal things out the fire. You can't do it,
yeah.
and that's
And
how you
Mandy
get
even
it.
cut a promo earlier in the show. It was so good. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
that was a
Mandy's
great
absolutely
promo.
killing it. Which is
Yeah,
why I think she needs to lose the title and go to the main roster. But at the same time,
yeah,
I don't know who you make in place.
yeah.
You want to talk AEW?
Smurfly.
Oh, Spinfox says, why don't they use Ivy Nile more? Dude, she had a lot of stinkers in a row.
Mm-hmm.
She had some really bad promos, and a lot of her matches were clunky and bad. Her finisher is really hard to do and looks awkward. And
Mm-hmm.
I think she needed a lot of work. She doesn't look natural out there. She's a beast. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to fucking fight her, but there was a lot of there seemed like a lot of work to do. So
Yeah.
Dynamite opened up with the opposite of Dynamite.
Oh, did you watch Rampage?
No. Did it happen?
Yeah. It did. Well, you had some of those matches. You had the
What matches? What are those matches?
you had the Roosh and Bandito. Good match.
Website on
Yeah. And then you had we were supposed to have Archer and Starks, but someone was not medically cleared, meaning they had way too many matches for an hour. So, hey, Ricky Starks, we're not going to use you.
Well, Tony said on the media call today that Ricky was actually injured because someone asked him about it. So that he's been injured for a couple weeks or something like that. I don't know if that's true, but that's what.
No, only because I know I had heard he was off TV for some like personal reasons.
I don't know. They lied about his broken neck too, though. They said he wasn't injured there until all of a sudden they had to.
Well, yeah. But whatever.
Ivy Nile and Lacey Evans could make a good tag team. They could. Yeah, let Lacey do a lot of the talking. She's more comfortable on the mic. Mm-hmm. They're both like pompous. Yeah, that could work. So what you had Roosh Bandito, you had Jungle Boy, Christian Cage, and Luchasaurus face to face. Nyla Rose, self-proclaimed open challenge. And Brian Cage versus Dante Martin and Orange Cassidy versus Lee Johnson. No, of course. Yeah. Why would I watch that? What was on there you wanted me to see?
Well, I guess if you were this weird tournament, but hey, that's all. Anyways. Okay. Now we can go on to Dynamite.
Dynamite did have Bryan Danielson and Claudio versus Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho, so I paid very little attention to it. I had my two screens up, or I had my windows up side by side, AEW and NXT, and so that was an easy one to just watch NXT and the opening match and focus on that. I saw bits here and there, but nothing I wanted to see, but it looked fine. I didn't see anything that looked ultimately sloppy, but I didn't see anything that made me go, I should pay attention.
Very close.
I was not watching very close.
No, Guevara, I'm sure had something, but I kind of glossed over it too, because why? I don't want to see Sammy Guevara on my TV. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Especially after all this bullshit. Sorry.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree. Anthony Bowens versus Swerve Strickland. Oh, let's start off with that video package, right? Hold on, let me see.
Yeah.
Picked up by Sting, placed into a car. A body bag? What? I did not see this. There was a body bag video package. Oh my god.
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Well, it's Sting.
Yeah.
I don't expect anything from Sting until winter is coming. That's his Sting-iversary.
Yeah, it's true.
And there better be fucking snow. That's all.
Yeah, we need to bring Sting snow.
I miss the
let's
snow.
See. It is. Spinner Fox like Sting and Darby versus Jiff and Jay. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I like Jeff Jarrett a lot. I like Jeff Jarrett saying that this is Sting's last match. He's just going around saying that. And people are like, did he say that? And he goes, he doesn't know it. But when I'm done with him, I'm like, yeah,
I love it.
Old school shit talk. Into it. And then they did that music video with Paul White being Captain Insano. I watched
That was
it.
dumb.
I didn't like it, and then about 30 seconds into the song, I just muted it and moved on to something else because I just don't like any of what they're doing. But I mean, I know people do it, so I'm not saying don't do it, but it's not for me.
I'll just say this.
Spin Fox says it was a WWE moment. For sure, dude.
I will say this. 2 weeks ago, we had Colt Cabana versus Chris Jericho. And that was righting a wrong. Where has Colt Cabana been since? Enough said. So if you can do stupid shit like this, why can't you give like fucking Colt Cabana and let him do something stupid like that? I don't know. Next thing you know, we're going to be resurrecting Scotty Goldman.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. The worst wrestler ever from WWE.
And I don't know. That whole video package was so bad I didn't even watch the match. But I guess Bowens and Strickland had a match. They probably would work well together. Right? Did they not?
Yep. Excited. They're going to be on the cruise. I can't wait. I want to meet the two of them.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Bowens and Caster. Yeah.
Fox says, I told you it was his last match for Jericho to beat down old ROH wrestlers. Yeah. And he said it was a good match. Yeah, I believe it would have been. Yeah, when I saw the names on here, I go, oh, maybe I could have paid attention to it, but I don't feel like I'm going to go back to watch it. We already went over that? Yeah.
I feel like the Ocho's going to lose his belt this week.
You think so? Who's he facing? Oh, he's got 4 guys in there, right?
4. Because you know what? He is expecting Sammy to lay down for him. Sammy ain't going to do that. Sammy doesn't even know how to sell. Okay, first of all, Jericho, so what the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. And I think it'll go back, either rightfully go back to Claudio or it's Danielson's time with it.
Yeah, maybe. Danielson's not doing shit right now, so that might be interesting.
Yeah.
Spin Fox says, just wondering how long Joe and Lee will be with them until they make the jump. Samoa Joe and Lee Moriarty? Is that what he's talking about? I don't know what. I don't know. There's
wait, the jump to what?
I don't know. Who the fuck is Lee? There's a bunch of Lees. Lee Johnson, Lee Moriarty, Keith Lee.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't WWE where they try to make it easy to know who you're talking about if you're going to abbreviate, dude. Keith Lee, he said. See, I wasn't even anywhere near that.
Yeah.
God. People get mad at Vince changing everybody's name. At least we knew who they were.
Yeah.
I didn't get the goon mixed up with anybody ever. I don't know. Do you think Keith Lee goes back?
Mm-mm.
I feel like he really is unhappy with everything that happened there, regardless of Triple H.
He's very unhappy. Him and his old lady. So they aren't ever. I don't think they'll go back.
What are you talking about? Mia Yim already's back
with WWE.
Yes, she's been on for a couple weeks. She's got a War Games match coming up.
What?
Yeah, she's teaming up with Bianca. And no,
I thought she went back to Impact. No, okay.
No, well, she's out there. She's got new music and everything.
Oh shit! Well, maybe he will go back.
And so now he's going back for sure.
I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like he's pretty.
He was a Triple H guy, wasn't he?
He was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess it is possible. I do think Joe has no respect for Tony Khan, which is why I like him. So Joe, I think he might jump at any second. He might not even wait for his contract to be up. There's no respect on him. But he did cut that promo, Samoa Joe being the him, saying that he refused to be a victim to Wardlow. I'll be honest, Samoa Joe's awesome and a great talker, and he did everything he could to make this angle work, but he didn't have a lot to work with, and that was pretty evident to me. It seemed like an over-exaggeration of a whole lot of things because not much actually happened, and he had to pretend to make it important.
Yeah.
And so you're like, all right, he did an awesome job at that, but he was given nothing to work with. And I commend him. It was cool, but it also was like, made me look at Joe, like not Joe the guy, but like Joe's character a little bit weird where you go, okay, I guess he's going to flip out about all sorts of stuff. Spin Fox says, if they do make a Joe versus Wardlow versus Hobbs, might steal the Full Gear pay-per-view. They already announced that, I thought.
They did.
Yeah, it's been announced, I thought, for like a week.
No, you know what's going to steal the pay-per-view?
Colt Cabana.
Yeah, doing nothing.
Just basing it off of historical evidence.
Yes, that's historical evidence too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. I think he's
In
it's
defense,
I'll
though,
agree with you.
sometimes being not a part of the thing might actually be a career highlight. Being able to say I was not a part of that.
Colt's like, I don't need this shit. But
Yeah.
before I go into, let's talk about the Wardlow thing. Wardlow, I was never really that jazzed about. I don't believe, and it just because it's like, okay, you made him the good guy because of Max. Oh, I'll put that tea. You made him the good guy because of Max. Hold on, I will take that. Put tea in it. What? The pink one. Sorry, episode 1. Had
It's just
to
episode
run
1.
in. Yeah, sorry, first episode. Had to run in. I had popcorn delivery. Anyways, he was only placed as this good guy because MJF treated him like shit. I mean, what else did he bring? He was just a victim of being the slave, so to speak.
Yeah.
And because he's a big guy and whatever. And
yeah. I mean, I've liked him. He's been decent, but he's not doing anything.
Yeah, but no, I mean, can he wrestle? The jury's kind of out on that. But for me, it's more interesting to really see Joe and Hobbs.
Yeah.
And if people don't think that, then I don't know what the fuck you're watching, because that right there, that's the money right there.
Yeah.
2 big guys who can do some shit, and now Joe in the last couple of times hasn't been winded, which is awesome. So I'm not saying he's back in his good old Joe shape, but he's in better shape than he was when he stepped in the door.
Yeah.
So definitely that's right there is the highlight of it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And I do see Hobbs probably taking both of those titles. It's a possibility.
Oh, I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Depends on how they go about it, but I can see it. Let's see. There's the Britt Baker promo that I was kind of over.
Mm-hmm.
Has any of the Paige and Britt Baker stuff been hitting with you? Some people are super stoked about it. I'm not thrilled about it. I kind of don't care about it.
I'm not thrilled about it, but there's something about Britt Baker that it ruffled her feathers somehow, because how she is pretty much delivering a lot of her promos and things like that. And I don't know if it's, how much of this was really scripted and not that, we don't know. But there was a lot of truths that were said on, at least with Soraya's side, and I think that with Britt Baker, she hasn't had an opponent that would I don't want to even say talk back, but who would elicit that kind of reaction. Because she could steamroll over a Tony Storm. She can steamroll over Thunder, because that's that position that she was put in. But this is someone that's like, no, this is something that definitely, this is another one of Tony's like toys. Okay. And he's going to be treated as such. And now you're getting that treatment that everybody else has gotten. And you're not liking it, probably.
That, and realistically, Saraya kind of has more to prove than anybody else on the roster right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's got a lot to overcome, and she's got a lot to prove to herself and her own abilities, outside of what she's got to prove to everybody else. Because realistically, probably more to herself than anyone else, because we've already seen a ton of people come in and do nothing. Like respectfully not be given the opportunity to do anything. All of these game-changing roster additions and these big waves of you're gonna we have Ember Moon now, it's gonna change everything. We have Ruby Soho now, everyone better watch out. if Saraya showed up and just didn't turn out to be much of anything or wasn't booked really strong, we would just go, oh, I guess she fell victim to the Tony thing again. Like, no one would hold it against her. But I do think to her, she has a lot to prove to herself that she is capable of doing all the things that everyone else was supposed to be doing. And with any luck and with what appears to be, Tony's not going to just cast her aside because she is already that important by name value alone. So maybe she's going to be able to actually do the things that everyone said everyone else was going to be able to do that they couldn't do just strictly because they were never given the opportunity. Maybe Tony's going to give this one the opportunity. Spinner Fox does say the promo was good until Saraya shitted on it and said, shut up and fight. And it's kind of how I felt about MJF and William Regal. Remember, it's like MJF had a pretty good promo and then Regal just shit all over it. And I was like, fuck that other dude. Regal's the best. Let's see. Triple Death Triangle versus Top Fight and AR Fox. I guess AR Fox got signed, right? Was the news coming out of that?
Yeah. And it was interesting to me because everyone was telling me on episode 1 a couple times that no, AR Fox isn't getting signed. He doesn't like to travel. That's why he's not signed. Okay. But now he's gotten signed, which I think is a really great addition because, again, he's a very good wrestler. He's taught a lot of guys.
That's right. He's the guy who was training a ton of people.
Yeah, he was training a ton of people in Atlanta. So, he's had like Lee Moriarty. He's got, those kind of caliber people that he's trained, men and women. And it's kind of like, wow, okay, this is a good addition. I thought that his style does work very well with Top Flight, works well with a lot of people. So I'm really excited. They haven't officially said he's all elite like they did with Bandito.
Yeah.
But I definitely think that that there is there's a lot of really good potential with him. So hopefully he's not just like here and there and whatever. Hopefully we see him.
Yeah. Spin Fox says, I hope Jamie wins the title and and best everybody, even Thunder. Jamie wins, makes it non-interim champion. I think he's trying to say it's what's best for everybody. And I agree. I think that Thunder should have never been put in the position to be holding an interim title. She was going to be out too long. They should have stripped her, but I understand that there's probably a lot of thought on why they wouldn't want to do that, having set interim title precedences before. But I also think there's a certain point where you have to realize something's just not going to work and don't do it. So this feels like it was really a negative thing ultimately for Thunder to have to go through. It's going to tarnish her, and she doesn't deserve that, and it's not her fault. So
I think Cargill's time to lose.
Yep, Cargo's got to go. Spinner Fox says, FYI, if you still need a Thunder Rosa figure, AEW shop will be selling them 50% off tomorrow. They have Hobbs and Starks too. I'll have to look. I remember seeing that Thunder Rosa. There's the bloody one, and I thought that might be a cool Thunder figure. Maybe I don't need all of them. It was on Ringside Collectibles. I saw that.
Well, no, but Pro Wrestling Tees.
I guess I'll have to look at what they got.
Part of me was going to go ask Ryan Barkin. Did you get the chase of Starks? I really want that. There was a contest on Instagram. I entered.
I saw somebody on my timeline was selling one for 150, but I didn't forward it to you because
that's too much.
I don't like people who are doing that. A bunch of people bought them.
I was selling it for 100, and I was going to see if he would sell it to me for 75. Because Ricky Starks, you can go and buy him on Ringside Collectibles, and I think he's like $15-$16 now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Those don't really hold their value at all.
Not at all.
Yeah. But
and it's always like a perceived value. It's never an actual value. People just say 200 because they want to, and not because it's selling for that. Ethan Page versus Bandito, AEW World Title Eliminator semi-final match.
That was a good match. I love Bandito. Love Ethan Page.
Looks like Ethan Page won.
I know, but that's because that's the trajectory that we're going to see. Because I believe on episode 1, I said that Ethan Page is going to be in that final.
Yeah.
And I believe he's going to be in that final against Ricky Starks. And I have a feeling that something is going to happen where this is going to be the first time there is no winner and loser in an AEW match. Because I think that MJF somehow is going to fuck it over for Stokely and company. But it also kind of will sabotage Ricky in its own way, too, that you have to DQ it. There's no way. Or injury comes into play or something.
No, it's definitely not happening.
But it was very funny because on Twitter, someone had said and tagged Ricky in it like, oh man, Ricky has to win like 3 matches in a weekend. Well, in a weekend to win the thing. And I was like, yo, I've seen Ricky Starks win 3 matches in a night to win a title. Okay. Yeah. I think Marsh was there too.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. He had 7 matches that weekend. He's
fine. 3 that night.
Yeah.
And they weren't like they were easy matches. I mean, that one with Trevor Murdoch, was a great match. That was a great one. They all were really good. Because I think he wrestled was it Matt Cross or Caleb Conley? Or was it both? I can't remember. Anyways, I'd have to go back and watch it. But yes.
Certified says Regal turns on Mox, calling it MJF as a face is not good. Says Ricky will have 2 matches, Rampage, and then the pay-per-view.
No.
Yeah, I don't think Ricky's going to win that thing. They're also not going to do a DQ thing. They're not going to do some sort of like specialty change. They're going to do the same shit they always do, put it on the guy they want to, and just move forward. I don't even know if Ricky's going to make it to the final, to be honest. I don't know that they have him beating Lance Archer. They've been trying to make Lance look like a badass.
Yeah, but Lance Archer is about to go to Japan any day now.
Sure.
Global Tag League.
So what? It's one weekend. You just said it was only 2 nights.
Wrestling with Murder Grandpa.
Yeah. Paige faces the winner of Archer and Starks. Yeah. Well.
No, you guys are forgetting about Brian Cage.
Who's that?
He beat Dante Martin. He's in the semifinal. He's going to face whoever Starks and Archer is. And I think that because, good old nostalgia, they're going to have Starks and Cage again.
You think you're going to have Starks beat Lance Archer and Brian Cage?
Yes.
And then go on to beat Ethan Page?
Or Stokely and gang is going to injure Ricky.
There doesn't need to be interference for Ricky Starks to lose a match.
Yeah, I'm farting to you, buddy. Yeah, no. I'm just saying the only reason why is because it sells this injury again, 1. And then 2, not only that, but it gives another storyline for Ricky that's not ridiculous. He had to overcome, the factory, Malcolm Bivens and his band of fucking idiots.
Yeah.
No problem.
What do you think of the Toni Storm versus Anna Jay?
Yeah.
It's fine. Anna Jay's much better than she was 6 months ago.
Yeah, she is, but
she's really coming along.
Yeah.
It was another stupid match, though. Like, having eliminator matches is stupid. Especially if you're going to have the champion win all of them, just make it an open challenge. Hey, I'm a fighting champ.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to, you don't have to overcomplicate this.
Tony Khan does not understand that concept.
Yeah. Well, also, fuck, Vince didn't either. All of their like, hey, beat the champ to get a title shot. Fuck that, dude. That's the dumbest. It's always been the dumbest. I don't hate it when they have a non-title match, but the stipulation isn't that you get a title match if you win. Like, I don't mind it when they do these other kind of weird matches and it just so happens they have this match, but the title's not on the line. And then they lose the match and the person says, look, you should let me have a title shot. Now the champion really doesn't have a way to talk himself out of it. Like, that whole storyline, those make some sense to me. But to to have a match that's already said beat the champ to face the champ, it's just too much up front, man. Fox says, why is there rankings if there are eliminators matches? Yep, the rankings are still doing their thing, and they shouldn't.
Who knows? No one knows.
But I just think it should have been an open challenge. Tony should have fought Anna Jay and won, and that would be it, and it's fine. Because I guess they're trying to put some seed of doubt that Tony might not win it. Well, it's an eliminator match, so she could lose it and not lose the title, so she might not win. And you go, you're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But it was pretty good. It was a good match. Anna Jay's come a long way.
She has. And I think that not only has Anna Jay come a long way, but I really think that her days is being, I don't know, like Ty Mello or fucking Sammy's bitch, whatever you want to call her. Yeah, she's better than that. So
yeah,
can we end that, please?
She's eclipsed her in wrestling as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so now we got that was the last match. That was the main event. So we had Moxley come out though afterwards and talk.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, the Jamie Hayter stare down was a little weird, but it was fine. I couldn't figure out what Jamie was trying to do because she was all like, "Oh, it's all good, and then pointing at the title and then like shrugging it off. Like I couldn't tell what she was trying to pantomime.
No,
like I was like, you're trying to get some sort of message across, and it's very confusing. It's not very direct.
Mm-hmm.
So Moxley comes out and he cuts this promo, and I wonder, this promo was all over the place. And it was really weird, and he was forgetting stuff, and some of the stuff he said really make a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it was like a more sedated version of other promos he's had. Fox does say it was just to bring them up since the women's get much time on TV. Dude, fucking proofread your shit, man. It's all over the place. It's like he's not even doing like voice to text through Siri or something. At least that would explain.
You know what you should do? Is you should find a way that you can put the chat in here so people can see what you're talking about.
The chat is posted everywhere our videos are.
Well, I know, but like, for example, like if I'm not somewhere, if I'm watching it live, let's just say, right? And I'm like, okay, or I'm watching it.
Yeah, it's like that.
There you go. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and then I can put it away.
He's text shaming you, Splinter Fox.
Yeah, he did this little face. Yeah.
What face?
Yeah,
is
I can
that?
show him.
Okay, awesomeness. I think that's kind of cool. Anyways, but if you're listening, that's why you have to watch us.
Yeah, there's a visual element now. We've got visual elements happening.
Yeah, that's Splinter Fox doing that to screw the show. That's why when Mark says you can come on and derail the show, that's derailing the show right there, 101. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, you can derail the show. You just got to go twitch.tv/wrestling on the rocks, or YouTube now, youtube.com/wrestling on the rocks. Okay, so the despondent, weird Moxley promo aside, we'll talk about that in its own way. But for the past couple of weeks, I've been noticing something, and I'm not trying to be like ahead of the game or you heard it here first. I'm a little concerned. Moxie's been getting really puffy in the face. Like he's not putting on a bunch of weight. His face is getting very puffy.
Okay.
And that's different. That's holding water weight. I just hope he's not drinking again. I hope it's holiday cookies or something. But if I'm being honest, like having had friends with severe drinking problems, their fingers start to swell and their face swells and their feet swell before their stomach starts to get bigger. You know what I mean? Like your extremities are all swelling. And so the fact that he's been looking kind of puffy lately, I was all like, man, I hope it's just like, the season. You know what I mean? I hope it's just like a few things that just is what it is.
He's adding the winter weight.
Yeah.
But he lives in Las Vegas. But it gets cold.
Yeah. Yeah, winter weight, fine. But that combined with this weird promo, I'm like, really
Mhm.
hope it's not a bad thing. And I'm not trying to say that it is. And again, I'm not trying to be like, you heard it here first or any of that bullshit. I'm just kind of like, I've had friends go down those paths before a number of times, and I've lost friends because of those paths. And so maybe I'm a
Mhm.
little bit more sensitive to it in that I'm more
Mhm.
concerned about it. And I take what he went through very, very seriously. And I
Mhm.
find it inspiring. And I just, like I said, I've lost people. So it's like, it's hard for me not to look at it and just look at him and, in a sense, just always be looking at him like, is he okay? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because that's something that you think about then at that point. Well, now
Mhm.
that we know this, now I want to make sure you're okay. And so seeing
Mhm.
all that made me kind of go like, I don't know that he's okay. And so I hope that other people in his life are at least aware of and, checking on him and that he's probably fine,
You know, my thought with the promo was, remember when he got the belt.
Yeah.
He was not it wasn't supposed he wasn't supposed to have that.
Yeah.
Okay? Process of elimination. He got it because he was supposed to take time off. Am I not correct in saying
Yeah. It was
that?
like 6 months or something like that.
Yeah. He put a lot of pressure on himself, being that, he was gonna be, that guy,
Yeah.
that face of the company. He self appointed himself to that. And
Mm.
I think that it's been kind of burning him out, you know, especially when you know that you're going to have a break,
Yeah.
and that's where it's kind of like, okay, wins enough. And so that's why, like, I'm like, that's what for me solidifies the fact that he's not going to retain, and it's going to be the
Mm.
era of MJF.
Yeah.
And I think
He
that,
should.
he needs that time
Yeah.
because he's been going pretty hard pretty much since he's arrived there.
And he kind of came back early from rehab.
Yeah, he
You know what I
did.
mean? And I think, and I wonder if part of it was, let me come back early, make everything right, because I left in the middle of all of that,
Mm-hmm.
then take a break and really, maybe that break
Perhaps.
was a little bit more than just a vacation. Maybe there was more to it, and
Yeah.
maybe this being forced back in full time, not forced, right? No one was forced, but being put in a position where now he's back full time, maybe that was just a bit much too soon. And I don't know. I just want the best for him,
And
man.
and not only that too, but remember, he's now exclusive, so he can't do anything else.
Yeah, you
So
can't do the fun stuff.
everything else has been dropped. So
Yeah.
anything that was like kind of like that relief away from AEW is now gone.
Yeah.
But again, it's kind of self-induced. Like, you took it upon yourself of this, you wanted to be that guy that
Yeah.
leads the locker room, leads that change. It's hard. And I don't think he realized it takes a lot out of a person. And maybe at the time he thought he could commit to that, but he's probably just thinking, I just want my time off now.
Yeah, he needs it.
You know?
Also, but
Yeah.
but going like a little bit more, a little more kayfabe. Let's just talk some storyline stuff because I think we all want the same thing for him.
Yeah.
Spinner Fox called it the punk effect, and said he started with non-alcoholic drinks, which could have led to drinking again. Also, non-alcoholic drinks you can also put on water weight. If he's
Mhm.
having like cocktails or mocktails or sodas and stuff, there's a lot of swelling that can happen there too. So it also could be a good sign. It could be a sign that he's
Yeah.
overindulging in the non-alcoholic stuff too. That could be
Mhm.
very much a thing.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be like, I'm not trying to say something that I'm not trying to say, but it's just a concern. So in the promo though, he tears apart, he like buries MJF in a crazy way where he's talking about how MJF had a failed attempt at a Brian Pillman story, but he flubbed that up. He didn't know what
Mhm.
day the pay-per-view was. He flubbed up something else. There was a few times where he said stuff, stumbled over words, went backwards, and I couldn't make sense of a lot of it.
Mhm.
But it was all like a much more sedated version of what he's been saying, but the same. The Firm comes out, beats the shit out of Mox, which he sold like crazy. Like, I feel like he was overselling at a certain point, but
Mhm.
it was pretty good. It gave MJF his time. MJF, the same cadence promos he always cuts. It was another MJF promo. Is fine. I'm getting tired of his cadence. It sounds like the cadence you get when you're reading through a thing.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't know. What do you think of it? It was I don't know. It was kind of a flat way to end it off. Like, I didn't feel like either story there really made me, or either person really made me go like, oh shit, this is for real. Like, both sides made me go, this is kind of goofy.
Well, it's a very predictable story, and it doesn't have to be.
Yeah, maybe
But-
that's the problem.
Yeah, and then the interesting part was people's promos as of late have been interesting because a lot of it is poking the bear of Phil.
Yeah.
And a lot of it also is poking at things that people say, like the pillars
Yeah.
of the company. And it's very interesting that people are very opinionated, even people who are the pillars, you know?
Did you
And I
see
think,
because they also been hitting more WWE stuff too. Joe said to Tony Schiavone, "You remind me of one of my old co-workers named Paul. I hope this
Mhm.
conversation goes better than that." And I could not figure out who the fuck he was talking about, because realistically, if he's trying to say Paul Levesque, I don't buy
Mhm.
for a second that anything about Tony Schiavone reminds you of Triple H. And I don't buy for a second that you hope this goes better in a threatening way, like, I beat the shit out of him too, was kind of like the tone, because
Mhm.
Tony's like, me too. So I can't figure out who he's talking about, because I don't believe it's Triple H. I think the easy thing to say is it's Triple H, but it doesn't equate, and I don't think Joe would say that for the sake of it. I think he had to be talking about some other Paul,
Heyman?
but I can't figure out who it was. Paul Heyman? Did he choke out Paul Heyman one time?
I don't know. That's what I was asking you.
He might have attacked Paul Heyman.
That could be it.
That
'Cause
would
that's
make
the only
sense.
Paul I would think so. Would be Heyman.
I know
'Cause what
Paul
is
and
Paul
Brock
like?
and Joe had a whole thing. So yeah, that's probably it. But I saw people trying to say, oh, he's talking about Triple H. I was like, there's no fucking way. But Paul Heyman and Tony
It has to
Schiavone,
be Heyman.
it's got to be Heyman.
Has to be. We're our WWE fanboys who can confirm this.
Yeah, I'll Google it. While I
'Cause when
Google it,
you-
you go back to the MJF stuff.
Yeah, so MJF. I don't know if you guys have saw this, but there was some footage after the show that was floating around YouTube, or not YouTube, but on Twitter and maybe Instagram. But that was showing, how that MJF talking to the crowd, and Tony Khan was out there, and it was
Samoa Joe
very
traps Paul Heyman and Coquina Clutch, 2017. Samoa Joe sends a message to Paul Heyman. He like squeezed his face too. Yeah, he attacked Paul like twice.
Yep. See,
Paul Heyman
And I don't
reacts to
even
Samoa
watch
Joe's
WWE.
beatdown. Yeah,
and I don't even watch the program.
yeah, it's sick.
I will say that. You dumb fanboys on Twitter, you don't know shit. I don't even watch the shit, and I knew it was fucking not fucking Triple H.
All right,
Fuck
so that's
y'all.
way, and see, that's a better reference, anyways. That's a much better, and that's what I'm saying. I was like, Joe's too good and too clever to have something that stupid. I was like, there's got to
Heyman.
be something better. Yeah, the Paul Heyman reference. That's sick.
That's
awesome.
a fucking great reference. Samoa Joe is a smart fucking man.
He's
Got
so
a
good.
fucking mad respect to Joe. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you people, you internet fanboys, you guys are so stupid. Oh my
The
god.
worst. The thing is
I'm a
this, though,
girl.
as Twitter falls and burns, because it's currently burning now. And
Mhm.
apparently there's like buildings people can't get into. And apparently that there's major server programs that have been shut off and are slowing down. There's a really good chance Twitter's not online by the time we're offline.
Probably.
But
Got our masters on.
my belief is that the dying days of Twitter will be in the hands of the IWC. We ain't going anywhere because it's our wrestling bubble, and we will burn ourselves before escaping a fiery hellhole. We know this by our own fandoms. We don't turn our back on shitty wrestling. We don't turn our back on this fiery mess. The last dying days, it's going to be like Children of the Corn of the IWC. Just, rah! Jennifer Fox says it's not Triple H. Joe loves Triple H. IWC is dumb. That's what I'm saying. Every one of those things I saw, I was like, you guys are wrong. I couldn't piece it together.
And I confirmed it. And I don't watch WWE. What does that tell you?
I mean,
I'm not Nostradamus, but
it's the whole tree through the forest things, forest through the trees.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I put 2 and 2 together.
That's true. You do math.
Like if you were to tell me, oh, well, John, my coworker John, and what did Cena do to you? Did Cena make you take off your shoes when you entered his house? Come on now, people. It's his house, his rules. Come on. Just saying. Anyways. MJF. But no, MJF was really into this whole, kind of fuck, this, that, and whatever. So they're really trying to push this guy as this guy is the future of this and all this other shit. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I see that. But it's like, Tony, you got to not put all your eggs in one basket. I mean, there's other people.
You gotta be kidding me.
Hmm?
Your whole argument against MJF's story is that all of Tony's eggs are in one basket. Your argument against the MJF story is that Ricky Starks is there.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm arguing against the story of it is because, okay, MJF will have a pretty interesting reign of people. Yeah. This is now time for these young people or younger people who've never, ever been on fucking WWE to fucking stand up and show you either going to sink or swim with this.
That's MJF.
There are going to be some people who are going to absolutely fail, and there's going to be some people who will rise to the occasion. Okay. So right now I'm seeing that, okay, the first one that's going to unfortunately fall through is going to be Ethan Page. And it's really sad because he's really good. Anyways, you're going to get Starks in there eventually. You'll get Guevara. And boy, that's going to be horrible because...
You think you'll get Colt Cabana versus MJF?
Father and son?
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Not on AEW, you haven't?
I don't think you're going to get that, though.
Shitterfuck says, I hate that they are putting MJF as a face, but he is pulling a big one and will go back to his old heel ways.
He's not a face. He's a tweener. Okay? Just because he's getting good crowd reaction does not necessarily mean the guy's a face.
I mean, it does.
It's not black and white. There's shades of gray. And that is what MJ is.
No, because that's when you're trying to be too smart for your own good. Realistically, baby face versus heel has to do with crowd reaction and crowd reaction alone. Storylines are built around how crowds are reacting to people, not the other way around.
Bullshit. You need to then explain Phil Brooks to me then.
People were behind him. It was crazy. For no good reason, but they're behind him. They cheered for him. They wanted him. Exactly, because it has nothing to do with the booking, it has to do with the reaction.
Yeah, but the booking the reaction was everything.
It can sway a reaction, but at the end of the day, if you're getting cheered, you're the babyface, regardless of what you're doing. Stone Cold is the example of that. Stone Cold was trying to do heel things, but he was doing it in such a cool way that people got behind him, and they said, well, shit, I guess he's a babyface now. They didn't book him different. They said, well, we're going to keep doing that because that's what his character is doing, but they're just going to be more cognizant of getting people who are getting booed to put against him. So, and they're going to be more cognizant about making more merch. Baby faces sell merch. Heels sell tickets. That's what Arn Anderson says.
So then do you buy the fact that Cody Rhodes and his end run was a heel?
He said it was. That was funny. Yeah, that was funny.
I thought that was hilarious that he said that.
But at the same time, him saying that is also part of like the same point I'm making. Whether or not he was trying to book himself as a good guy or a bad guy in the story, he was getting booed and the other person was getting cheered. Therefore, he was the heel, whether he was booking that way or not. The crowd reaction determined that. And he knows that. So he's saying like, I was a heel. I was getting booed. he's also not deaf. It's like he doesn't not know.
Excuse me.
And so it's not like you keep the story going, but you just tweak the end result based off how the crowd's responding. Spin Fox says, I fear for Cody when he comes back now with Triple H in control.
Why?
I don't. I think it's going to be better than ever. Great.
Yeah.
He's probably going to give him a robot butler or something. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, hello. He's going to get he's going to get the Apollo Creed treatment in Rocky 4 when he fought Drago. Yeah, he died in it, but he's getting to get
Cody
that.
died in Hell in a Cell.
Thank you. So. Yeah. See?
But yeah, this was a weird kind of episode. It was the go home show, but in a lot of ways I felt like it was a go away show. Mm-hmm. It also was I guess their ratings have been bad year over year, which is kind of surprising to me, but I don't know. It's not all like, hey, they're done for, but it is like there's probably going to be a lot of crazy readjustments with their contracts as the TV deal comes up. And I think that lends for an interesting time, like whatever's going to happen to it. I don't know that they stay same place, same time, but they might. It's just interesting. We'll see how it goes. Do you think that this pay-per-view is going to deliver like crazy?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, in the sense that we're going to get you're going to get things that change that needs to happen. Meaning, we're going to be less now relying on these people brought in from WWE, these ex-WWEers, and seeing how that's going to go. It's going to be a little bit more change in a good way. And I think not in the sense of, and we didn't even talk about this, not in the sense with the Elite coming back. Because I don't know. I wanted to get your take on it, Marsh, about how you feel about it. Because obviously it's them versus Death Triangle. Leaving off right where they left off.
Yeah.
Their
graphic and promo, all of that was pretty poorly done. Like the video builds up were better than this. Death Triangle cuts a promo into the camera. You guys, you say your race, this whole thing, and you're so like, okay, so he's like they're pussyfooting around it like they're building anticipation, but they weren't. And then they show this graphic and it's empty, and then Misty comes up, the Elite, and go, oh,
and everyone's shitting themselves. Yeah.
But it was like you could see it from a mile away, and it wasn't, at least a mile away. But it was like ridiculous. And then they're back for the match, which you have to do. Because they had the championships and then they were stripped of it, and now these are the trios champs, so you have to do this match. It's just really peculiar on how they move forward with it. Are they willing to pivot, or are they going to go back to what they were going to do to begin with? And I think that's going to be the big tell. If the Elite win, then the Elite are going back to business as usual, what they want to do when they want to do it. If the trios win, then you might have a slightly more mature Elite here who understand that you have to make changes when you go, and it's not always best to try and go backwards. You could hurt somebody when you do that, right? Like if Death Triangle loses this, it's going to undermine the entire Death Triangle title reign and the titles to begin with. It's going to go from being like, hey, a trios champion to Elite toys. And then they're now placeholder champions, and now they're really kind of, they were only there because the Elite were suspended. So they really need to double down and give the trios a victory here. And have the Elite get back in the line and have them win it, maybe it all out or some shit.
I think that they're not. I think with the whole like deleting of things, I think now it kind of makes a little bit more sense that they shouldn't win.
Yeah.
And I think that they need to build back that confidence in people of, it's not just, because they did get a lot of flack about, oh, you're booking yourselves into this stuff. And I think that they can't come back right away with that kind of stuff. They need to let it go out there. Let it, whatever. We don't necessarily need to see Kenny Omega with, as a champion again. We don't need to see, there's a lot of things we don't need to see. But I think that them having a new revamped kind of approach to it, I think is evident that it needs to happen. Because it's going to be nice not to see as much of Jericho, maybe.
Yeah.
It's going to be nice not seeing a lot of these same olds, So that's where I'm hoping that they come back, they lose, and this is a new chapter they write.
Yeah. And you
I
could
mean, you
even
don't
rebuild
necessarily have to have a
the
title.
elite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to have a title,
Because I think everyone, as they got into the trios titles even being announced, it was like, oh, this is the elite's sandbox they've created for themselves to have championships with their friends because the rest of the show's going on without them. But a lot of that had to do with Punk. I honestly think if there was no Punk, there wouldn't be a trios championship. So, although they've talked about it before, so maybe they would. But I think that that's what rushed it, because it was like, hey, we don't get to do whatever we want now. Punk does. Well, now with Punk out of the picture, and you guys get to go back on top if you want. Maybe they do. Maybe they take it with the trios championship and say that this is the big deal now. And I think it'd be better if they lose and try to rebuild. Splinter Fox, even in the chat, says, he says, I will book more power hungry, bring in Marty and Flip, and when Hangman comes back in line with them and be true heels like they were in NJPW. I think that could be a very interesting story too. If they lose here, hey, what's gone wrong? We are the elite. They erase the elite and really become like, no, we are the fucking elite and we won't be ignored. And say, hey, maybe the problem is we've gotten thinner in numbers. Maybe we gotta bring the whole crew back in and show that, and become like a little NWO over there. Elite versus AEW.
I'm not gonna lie. When Marty wrestled with AAA, it was Marty and Flip.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa. Like, if Conan booked it, or whoever booked it, I'm like, you just put together one of my favorite bits from BTE, which was Marty and Flip Take Japan.
Oh, yeah.
Because those videos were hilarious. I mean, just the dynamic between the two of them. And
they were great in NWA, that short run they had.
Oh yeah, Flip. Oh my God, Flip. Everyone knows people are like, oh, you have poor taste in people you like. I love me some Flip Gordon. I've known him a long time. I love Flip. Not gonna lie, a little dingy, but you know what? He means well. One thing about Flip though is he actually, that chemistry that he has always had with like Marty and all those guys has always been like really, 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 really great. I mean, that chemistry they all had together, and with Cody and everybody, it was undeniable that you can say these people are really good friends. And a lot of times some of those regular people you would see on there, that were part of their circle, they're all really good friends, and I don't want to be all happy dappy and whatever, but there's a lot of, I've said it before in episode 1, a lot of good people and a lot of bad people, and that core group that they always were around are some of the really good people. And this whole thing, to anyone I've ever talked to about this kind of shit, they saw that you weren't bullshitting. And you're right. And I'm like, yeah, you had good ones and bad ones. It all depends on who you associate with. And happen to associate with some pretty good people. So, it is what it is. But I really think that they do need to revamp themselves, revamp how fans see them in that company, in their position, because a lot of dirt and negativity was unleashed, and it wasn't fair to anybody. And I think that they took a real big brunt of it, because these were things that people kind of really didn't address with Cody, but they sure love to do that with the Bucks. They never mention it about Jericho. So, so that's where it's kind of like, it's not fair to them. Why are they the ones that always get picked on?
Yeah, Spin Fox does say this is their last shot. Time is running out for AEW. Push the House to the moon. Make it the Elite versus House of Black. Have Darby join the House of Black. Make them both powerhouse. I would
Yep.
do that. That sounds great.
Mhm.
I'd be really into that, to be
I
honest.
would love that. That would be amazing because right now, when you look at what House of Black does and what they do with Darby, hell, so Sting in that mix of, fathering everything,
Sure.
Yeah.
And
I
give him a little
mean,
cloak.
yeah, that'd be great,
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be like death or anything like that. We had Alex Abrahantes doing that. And obviously Marsh didn't like that. So
Yep. Spin Fox says Blackpool is dead. JS is dead too. Reboot the stables, bringing females into stables. We were talking about this just the other night, Spinner Fox. The amount of women in stables in WWE has been really impressive. They've added a bunch of women to them. Like Zelina's fighting now with Legato. You got BFAB in Hit Row. You got Rhea in Judgment Day.
they don't have
Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan joined Viking Raiders. Like you're having a lot of like mixed teams. It's really great.
But with the with all the Samoans, they don't have anybody, right?
For Bloodline? No, you'd think that they would throw in Tamina in by now.
No, that's what I
But
would
they
think.
have not. And I wonder if it's just like, hey, she hasn't really been booked to be Bloodline material. You know what I mean?
That's wrong.
Spin
Samoan,
Fox does say Naomi, which a lot of people have said. But that's what I said. Yeah, and I think you could turn Tamina around on a dime. I think that Tamina's there, and she believably will beat the shit out of anybody at any moment. Whenever she loses, you just go, that's nice of her. But when she wins, you go, yeah, that's what you get. Like you could easily bring her up.
The Samoan people, and that's why I'm like, why isn't she in there? That floors me.
Yeah.
No offense,
Spin Fox
Sami
says,
Zayn is an honorary. Oos.
Yeah.
But you don't even have an actual Samoan in there. That's whatever.
Yeah, but Sami Zayn's like the best part of the show, so of course you want him in the biggest act.
I know,
Spinner Fox says Naomi, which I've heard of and I could believe it, but she's also kind of in a weird spot. And then she's also by marriage, so it kind of makes the bloodline. And I know you can always make the Sammy argument, but Naomi's no Sammy. And that's kind of the charm of Sammy being a part of it, is that he doesn't belong.
But when you're
great.
The island, all these Islander people, okay, when you're like, when Samoans, they all stick together, okay? They probably are all related, but they all stick together. And if you're of Islander blood as well, or you have some smidgen of it, you're still like family. They still respect that. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying that.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time they put Tamina in there.
I'm like, I'm honorary, Korean Hawaiian here. I'm honorary. I'm more honorary than Sami Zayn. He just has a shirt. I don't.
Spin Fox says AEW bring in a Joshi stable. That would be so fresh. I remember they did when they first started. They had a couple. They
tried. Did you not see that? Rio, Emi Sakura.
Oh, yeah.
What's that chick? There's another chick, the one that looks like a little genie in the bottle.
I have no idea.
I can't remember her name. Yeah, they tried that.
Yeah,
Sheeta. Times. That was part of that whole thing. Those were Kenny's girls. Yeah.
I do think that they're trying to make this new Rampage seem like it's a lot more important than it is. They got Hook and Lee Moriarty. Mm-hmm. They have Ricky Starks versus Lance Archer, Eddie Kingston and Ortiz against Akiyama and
Jun Akiyama and
Takeshita and Athena versus Madison Ray. The promos they cut on the show for Ricky, Eddie, and even the little clip they showed for Lee and Hook, I thought they did a pretty good job of making this Rampage look like it's going to be an important one. But also historically, we've seen what Rampage is, so it's hard to believe that. But I actually think they did a good job of making you think you should believe that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. I think that this is going to be the first time in a long time Eddie Kingston is not going to look like a bitch, and I'm excited for that. Don't think no, because this is a match that Eddie's always wanted to face Jun Akiyama, and as we all know, Takeshita. And I'm a little pissed about this because this is why I don't get to see Takeshita wrestle up front and personal because he was supposed to be at King of the Indies on Saturday. Damn AEW, they did it to me.
Mhm.
But again, my fault I didn't go the first time. But you're getting, someone who is probably one of the hottest wrestlers right now around the world.
Mhm.
And I think that, this is something where it's not something that Eddie will be booked in as a joke because it's been serious all the way through. And
Yeah, it
that's
was a
what I
really good
kinda
video.
Very good video. So that's where I think that this is going to be the first time. And it's very refreshing to see Eddie like that. Props to Eddie. But if fucking it comes to some jokey thing, Tony Khan, I swear to God, you should just let Eddie Kingston go. Don't make me say that to him on the damn cruise because I'll go up to Eddie and say, "Yo, Eddie, what the fuck? I'm tired of Tony Khan making you a bitch. What the fuck? Seriously."
Yep. Anything else?
Other than that, no. Because you're always going to get a good Starks promo out of it.
Yeah.
He needs the microphone more. And I don't know, do you have any thoughts going into any predictions that you have going into the pay-per-view?
Not really. I think MJF's going to win it, but whether or not Regal turns on him or not, I'd rather that he does, but I don't know that he will.
Mhm.
I think that also because, I don't think there's any kind of cohesiveness at all to any kind of Blackpool Club thing. So I think by having Regal join MJF and just move forward, and then Mox be gone for a while, and then you just have, if Danielson wins the ROH title, then you have Claudio, or put the title back on Claudio and have him go to ROH when they start doing that thing at the early next year. So I don't know. I think they split up a few things, but there's nothing in there that I'm looking at like, oh shit, this can't miss. It's absolutely something I'll be able to just keep track of on Twitter and be fine with, or go to Wrestling Inc. and just look at their live results and be like, what's happening.
I'm wanting to see the triple threat, the Joe, Wardlow, and Hobbs.
Yeah, that might be good.
Mm-hmm.
I just wonder
Only
because all three of them have had big mismatches at different times, so it's a little hard to say.
And I think this is a great way. If you are going to push Hobbs, you give him all of it, all or nothing, because he, at this point, he's coming off looking like a chump losing to Ricky, the last one.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't wrestled since. He needs to take it and basically assert his dominance. It'd be nice to have him in a long program with Joe for a while and take it over to Ring of Honor, and I think that would be excellent. Lots of possibilities with that one, but I don't want Wardlow anywhere near it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fox says, Kari, I'm excited for her. She could win the first NJPW Women's Championship, which I'm understanding that she can wrestle anywhere around the face world. And if she's able to, yeah. That'd be cool. Let's see. Spin Fox says it's only for the TNT title. Yeah, it's not for both titles, but you're just saying that.
Oh.
I thought you thought he was going to take the one title and then challenge for the other title.
I thought both of them were up, but maybe
no,
not. Maybe Hobbs will win, and at the ROH pay-per-view, Hobbs will face Joe for it.
Maybe you could also have Hobbs pin Joe for the win, get the TNT title, and then say, also, I pinned you, so I want yours too.
Mm-hmm.
And then get a rematch that way. You could.
Because that's going to be fucking fire.
Yep.
I wish I could go to Dallas to see that.
Anything else?
No. I think it's last call time.
Yep. I'm good. We got a bunch of stuff getting done. I think next week we're going to be off air, except if I do something fun with my brother or something. So nothing that is going to be revolving around a bunch of new content and stuff. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe we'll see about talking about some of the Fallout stuff before we leave, though. Maybe even pre-record something and drop it later.
Or maybe I can convince Marsh to live stream a match or so.
definitely not watching that. I'm spending time with my brother tomorrow or on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
So,
Never mind then.
yeah, and I'd rather not. So, let's see. But I think that's it, guys. We'll be back soon enough. Keep on the likes, the subscribes, the 5 stars, the notifications, all the things. Give us the follows. I'm at Ref Marsh. This is at WOTR, the show. She is Miss Amanda Jane. This is episode 1, and we're going to be right here for a brand new episode 1 in the dive bar of the IWC. Guys, that's the last call.
Cheers.
Hey, producer lady here. Thanks for tuning in. Continue to support us or buy us a drink by following and putting the I in subscribe on Twitch. Or subscribe and review our podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to us. Cheers!
I would never have a drink with wrestling on the